So years ago, when I worked in WIA, Kay and I, we'd always go up to Kerr Mansion, which is located in Poto. It's a conference center. It's only there for educational training, and so we were there one summer. There were several of us from our staff for the summer youth. We had Kay, Martha, Patty, John Caraway, Brian Akins, Donnie Joins, Linda Condor, who is passed on now, Jonna Baker, Nanette Wiley, Sheila Curvin. But there were several of us that was there, and so we had some encounters that had happened there.
Well, that afternoon when we first got there, the presidents, a lot of different presidents had stayed there. So I wanted to take Ford's room, which was in the bottom, and the pool is the shape of the K for Kerr. So it was like at the bottom, you had to walk down a long glass wall, and I was by myself. So I thought I'll stay there, and I went in and unpacked and went back upstairs. And some of us went onto the mall because Patty and Shelley was going to stay there and work on paperwork.
So, when we got back from Poto, let me describe what these rooms look like in this facility. It's an old battleship that inside they built rooms, like vessel rooms. Well, when you walk into the front door, there was a half wall there with Mrs. Kerr's picture. And in that picture, she had 2 bobby pins that always stuck out in her hair. Well, you go to the next level, and it was built for the children. There was a game room in the middle, and then 2 other rooms. And each one of these rooms were named after a president. So when you go in this game room, that's where one of the counselors had saw a little girl. She was skipping and singing, and she had ran into, unfortunately, my room. And so when we got ready for dinner, Kay had decided that's when she wanted to go back to her room. When she had gone back to her room,
when I went in there, I was so scared after I'd heard the little story about the little girl, and I was like, I'm not staying down there by myself. And so I went in there to gather my stuff up. And as I went in the restroom to gather my stuff, there was some bobby pins laying in the floor like an elder lady would wear in her hair. And I was like, those weren't there earlier. And so when we go back upstairs, which I had not seen the Miss Kerr's picture, the portrait, so we go back upstairs and there's a security guard that works there. And I told him what had happened about the little girl. And he said, well, there is a little girl that's been roaming the halls, but she's a ghost. And I thought, oh my goodness. And I told him about the bobby pins. He said, like the one in the picture there. And I looked and I thought, yes, the same bobby pins. So at that point, I'm not staying there by myself.
So then she packs her things up, and so I go down there with her, and we get her things, we go into my room. So all the counselors and us decided we were going to play cards in the game room, so we were sitting around the table. And we were sitting there, and that's when Shelley said, you know, we saw that little girl come skipping into your room, but I never recall her coming back out of it. So of course, Kay and I, we just kind of look at each other thinking, oh well, whatever. So we continue playing cards, and we go downstairs to get a blender. So we're looking for a blender. Brian Akins is the lead, of course, always lead of the pack, and Kay was behind him and so forth. Well,
we get there, and there's a little lady there, and I'm like scared, and I was like, who are you? And she said, I'm the night watchman. I thought, well, where did you come from? And she's like, I come on at midnight. And I thought, oh my goodness. So at this point, we don't know if she's real or not. And so we go back upstairs, and a little while later, we come back downstairs, and Linda Condor was with me, and there was a young boy walk up in a 3-piece suit, probably around 19 to 20 years old. And he'd come up behind me, and it scared me, so I screamed. I was like, well, who are you? And he said, I'm so-and-so Kerr. I'm having a party down at the by the ballroom area, which was close to the pool. I was like, there is no party going on here at all. Because we'd been all over the hotel or the mansion, there was no party. So the next day, I'm thinking that what we'd seen that night weren't real at all. They were actually ghosts.
So if you can imagine, when they're walking into that kitchen, if you've ever watched the show Poltergeist, the lady looked identical to her. And so we're sitting there and we're all just having this discussion around the game room, and there was a built-in china hutch. The wood on it was probably, I would say, anywhere around 1 inch thick to 1.5 inches thick on this door. As we're sitting there talking about these stories, that cabinet slowly opens up and everyone is sitting there. Well, one of the counselors gets up and he goes over there and he tries to shut it. Well, anytime you've tried to shut something that's got hinges on it, it's pretty flexible. It shuts easy. This didn't. It was as if there was force on the other side holding that door from you shutting it. So we sat there, and of course, Patty gets up and she goes and says, "Oh, you're just doing that." And she tries to shut it and it wouldn't hardly shut. She too had to put force behind it. Well, that night we're sitting there, we go to bed, and our pictures above the bed, we're laying there and it's as if the eyes were moving with us. Kay and I look at each other and said, "Remember, the little girl never left this room." So lo and behold.
Well, I was up there trying to cover the pictures up because I thought they're not watching us all night. I got so scared. We both took off running out of that room. So we ran into Patty's room where the little girl started first.
So we get in Patty's room, and Trina, who is Patty's daughter, was sitting there, and Kay said, "Trina, are you not going to bed?" And Trina said, "No, there's too many strange things happening in this place, and I'm ready to go home."
She's sitting there covering, she's still wearing tennis shoes on. But when you walk into the bedroom, it's like the beds, there's 2 twin beds built into the wall. And outside of them, just the pretty lace. It's just beautiful. Well, they were on a bed that was over on that side, and there was a fireplace there. So we asked Trina the next morning, I said, "Did anything happen?" She said that she was sitting there, she could feel like the cold air and like the stuff, coming up and down from the fireplace.